Hi friends. And welcome back to the Wolf Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a South Korean movie called Old Boy, released in the year 2003. The movie is set up in 1988 and starts with the main character named Oh Dae-soo. He is a businessman who is addicted to drinking and is being helped up in a police station due to his arrest for drunkenness. His friend Yo Hwan picks him up from the police station and both of them go to a phone booth. Dae-soo speaks with her 4-year-old daughter wishing her happy birthday. He then hands over the phone to his friend. His friend starts talking over the phone, and as he turns back to hand over the phone to Dae-soo, he noticed he is gone, nowhere to be found around anymore. From there Dae-soo then suddenly gets disappeared completely without any trace. It is then revealed to the audience that Dae-soo is kidnapped as he wakes up in a sealed hotel room. He screams and throws away the food, but there is no one to listen to him. Every day his food is delivered through a pet door. And night an unknown gas fills the chamber to making him unconscious until the next day. The room has an attached open washroom, a TV, and a bed. Through the news on TV Dae-soo learns that his wife has been murdered. And that he has been framed as a prime suspect by his captors. Time start passing and as years of imprisonment pass, Dae-soo starts to hallucinate, grows deranged from solitude, and eventually attempts suicide. However, every time he tries and falls unconscious he wakes up being resuscitated and bandaged. Also, his room gets cleaned from the mess he creates while venting out his anger. It seems someone wants him to suffer the pain but prevent him from dying, in order to ensure that he continues to live in agony. All these make him go mad and he eventually starts planning to take revenge. He then starts passing the time practicing shadowboxing and attempting to dig an escape tunnel in order to seek vengeance against his captors. He also starts tattooing himself to keep in mind his revenge. Time starts passing and 15 years have now passed. It's now the year 2003. One day while in a state of unconsciousness Dae-soo is sedated and hypnotized. And then suddenly released by his captors on the open terrace of some empty under construction building. He opens his eyes and finds a man with a dog who is about to commit suicide. He then gets closer to the man and starts touching him in order to believe that now he is free. The man then asks him, even though he is an animal, still doesn't he have the right to live? To which Dae-soo repeats his question and holds him up saying he can die after listening to his story. After finishing his story he leaves from there without any concern for that man. Eventually, that man ended up committing suicide and he walks away unaffected. Dae-soo is completely a different person. He roams the street like a thug and starts testing his fighting skills on a group of thugs. He then gets tired and sits in front of a street aquarium where a mysterious beggar gives him money and a cell phone. The beggar then runs away. Dae-soo then enters a sushi restaurant where he meets Mito, a young chef. Mito finds him familiar but she doesn't know where she has seen him. He then asks her to give him something alive to eat. In the meanwhile, he receives a taunting phone call from his captor. After disconnecting the call, Mito offers him a live octopus. He eats that and then collapses, and is taken in by Mito. Dae-soo attempts to leave Mito's apartment, but Mito, now interested in Dae-soo, stops him. They reconcile and begin to form a bond. After he recovers, Dae-soo attempts to find his daughter but gives up on trying to contact her after learning she was adopted after his kidnapping. Now focused on identifying his captors, Dae-soo locates the Chinese restaurant that made his prison food and finds the prison by following a deliveryman. Dae-soo learns the hotel he was held in is a private prison, where people pay to have others incarcerated. He tortures and interrogates the warden, Mr. Park Chul-woong, who divulges that Dae-soo was imprisoned for talking too much. Mr. Park's guards come to attack Dae-soo, and they fight fiercely in the hotel corridor. Dae-soo is stabbed but manages to defeat all of them. Dae-soo's captor then is revealed to be a wealthy businessman named Lee Woo-jin. Woo-jin gives him an ultimatum. If Dae-soo can uncover the motive for his imprisonment within 5 days, Woo-jin will kill himself. Otherwise, he will kill Mito. Dae-soo and Mito get close and have sex. Meanwhile, Yo Hwan tries to contact Dae-soo with important information, but is murdered by Woo-jin. In order to find the answer of Woo-jin, Dae-soo eventually recalls that he and Woo-jin went to the same high school, and that he witnessed Woo-jin committing incest with his own sister. Woo-jin cuts off Mr. Park's hand, leading Mr. Park and his gang to join forces with Dae-soo. Dae-soo leaves Mito with Mr. Park and sets out to face Woo-jin. Dae-soo then goes to visit Woojin and tells him his answer about what he saw, which led to his classmates gossiping about it. Rumors spread and Woojin's sister committed suicide, leading a grief-stricken Woojin to seek revenge. At Woojin's penthouse, he shows Dae-soo a purple box containing a family album which contains photos of Dae-soo, his wife, and his infant daughter together from years ago, progressing to show how his daughter grew up. Woojin then reveals that Mito is actually Dae-soo's daughter, and that he had orchestrated everything, using hypnosis on Mi-do and Dae-soo. He further reveals that it was his hypnosis that guided Dae-soo to the restaurant, so he and Mito would fall in love, so that Dae-soo would experience the same pain of incest that he did. Woojin reveals that Mr. Park is still working for him and threatens to tell the truth to Mito. Dae-soo apologizes for being the source of the rumor that caused the death of Woojin's sister, and humiliates himself by imitating a dog and begging. When Woojin is unimpressed, Dae-soo cuts out his own tongue as a sign of penance. Woojin finally accepts Dae-soo's apology and tells Mr. Park to hide the truth from Mito. He then drops the device he claims is remote to his pacemaker and walks away. Dae-soo activates the device in an attempt to kill Woojin, only to find it is actually a remote for loudspeakers, which play an audio recording of Dae-soo and Mito having sex. As Dae-soo collapses in despair, Woojin enters the elevator, where he recalls his sister's suicide and kills himself by a handgun. Sometime later, Dae-soo finds the hypnotist and asks her to erase his knowledge of Mito being his daughter, so that they can stay happy together. To persuade her, he repeats the question he heard from the man on the rooftop, and the hypnotist agrees. Afterward, Mito finds Dae-soo lying in snow, but there are no signs of the hypnotist. Mito confesses her love for him and the two embrace. Dae-soo breaks into a wide smile, which is slowly replaced by a more ambiguous expression. That was all for the explanation. I hope you liked it. Please leave a like to help our channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your view on this movie. Thank you for watching.